A wave of electric conjecture swept across European football, sparking heated debates on terraces, in back rooms, and on pulsating TV screens. It began with a headline more incendiary than a derby whistle. Manchester United, the storied giants of Old Trafford, were supposedly gearing up to launch a €70 million assault on Barcelona's gifted Spaniard Fermin López. Imaginations ran wild at the thought of López swapping the sun-drenched Camp Nou for the floodlit English arenas, his silky passes now echoing off the historic Trinity Road stand. Even more tantalising was the whisper that United would double his Barca wages, a mouth-watering sweetener meant to tip the scale. Could such a seismic transfer really be brewing? The rumour mill throbbed with speculation, propelling the story into every locker room and pundit's monologue until the dust settled and reality beckoned with a quieter truth. Behind the scenes at Barcelona, however, the atmosphere was more tension than triumph. The club's financial ledgers, once the envy of Europe, had become battlegrounds of austerity and survival. Executives scoured every balance sheet, eyes narrowed at dwindling revenues and mounting debts. The need for blockbuster sales was stark. Funds were desperately required not just to fortify the squad, but to comply with league regulations and appease wary creditors. Each potential departure carried the weight of financial salvation, yet also threatened to unsettle a squad already stretched for depth. Amid this whirlwind, chatter grew that Barca might reluctantly entertain offers for any asset, including their rising homegrown star. Yet financial necessity clashed with sporting pride. Could they really part with a player so full of promise? Just as rumours threatened to overtake fact, transfer guru Fabrizio Romano stepped into the fray, his voice cutting through the clamour like a surgeon's scalpel. With characteristic authority, he dispelled the swirling myths, and Manchester United have not held talks with Barcelona regarding Fermin López, he declared. The words landed with the precision of a referee's final whistle, halting wild conjecture in its tracks. Suddenly, pundits scrambled to revise scripts, social feeds quieted, and the narrative pivoted. The relief was palpable, a collective exhale from both Camp Nou and Old Trafford faithful. Was the end of transfer fever, or simply the calm before another storm? For Germany's Hansi Flick, the clarification could not have come soon enough. Having taken the reins at United with a keen eye for versatile, dynamic talent, Flick had earmarked López as a key piece for his evolving puzzle. He admired the Spaniard's ability to drift between midfield and attack like a spectre, unsettling defences with inventive flicks and incisive through-ball. To Flick, López was not merely a squad member but a catalyst, his positional fluidity and creative instincts perfectly aligned with modern pressing football. The last thing the German coach needed was Barcelona entertaining bids, potentially luring away a maestro he envisioned orchestrating United's resurgence. How would he reshape his tactics without that spark? Yet Barcelona, for all their financial strife, were equally determined to hold firm. Under Xavi Hernandez's tutelage, Fermin López had blossomed from promising prospect to near-regular contributor, logging almost a century of senior appearances. Each game showcased his burgeoning confidence, the rhythmic thud of his boots against the turf, the rustle of jerseys as he weaved past markers, the collective inhale of fans anticipating his next daring move. Xavi's blueprint prized agility and intelligence, traits López embodied, and the coaching staff quietly vied to retain him, resisting outside temptations. With Barca's board buck financial pressures to safeguard their tactical ambitions, at the heart of this tug-of-war stood López himself, a Catalan by birth and by heart. Rather than entertain foreign overtures, he dreamed of cementing his legacy under the Camp Nou floodlights. His mind raced not with visions of Premier League grandeur, but with the rhythm of Catalan chants reverberating through the stands, the scent of fresh-cut grass mingling with the crisp breeze off Montjuïc. Determined to seize every opportunity, he steeled himself for the coming battles, squaring off against stars like Dani Olmo, whose deft control bewitched defences, Gavi, whose tenacity belied his youth, and Rafinha, whose dazzling footwork lit up the wing. The competition would be fierce, but López welcomed the challenge. Was he not forged in Barca's famed La Masia cauldron? Meanwhile, Barcelona's board, still navigating the shoals of fiscal responsibility, began casting wider nets. If López was off limits, then other names would have to be considered to balance the books. One such candidate was Ronald Araujo, the Uruguayan titan whose towering presence and uncompromising tackles had become a symbol of Barca's defensive backbone. Yet parting with Araujo posed its own dilemma. Sacrifice the solidity at the back for financial breathing room, or hold fast and risk deepening the monetary mire. Whispers of potential bids drifted through Mongeki's corridors, but the club's hierarchy remained torn. Could they withstand another season of financial constraint without weakening the squad further? And so the transfer saga lingers on the horizon, a narrative woven from rumours, clarifications and silent strategies. With Fabrizio Romano's seal of truth laid down, Manchester United's gaze shifts elsewhere, Hansi Flick recalibrates his blueprint, and Barcelona braces for the next fiscal frontier. Yet in football, as in life, certainty is fleeting. Who knows when the next twist might emerge? The game is never over until the final whistle blows.